As of the time of recording this video, it has been 1 week since the first 2020 presidential debate between former Vice President Joe Biden and current President Donald Trump. If you didn't see it, spoiler alert, it was an absolute car wreck. No, that insults car wrecks. That makes car wrecks sound a whole lot worse than they actually are. It was a hot mess. I mean, that's one of the ways that I heard it described. It was a hot mess. People speaking over each other, people condemning each other, people criticizing each other, people avoiding answers, people interrupting, people disregarding what the moderator had to say. And that was just the president. But as I always say, we should never stop learning. We can learn from everybody, every time. My name is Ed Trevors. I'm an Anglican priest in the Diocese of Nova Scotia in Prince Edward Island. I get to serve in the beautiful town of Shelburne, Nova Scotia, in the awesome parish of Church Shelburne that sits on the ancestral and on the unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. And today, I want to talk about what we can learn from President Donald Trump's masterclass in communication. Because there is lots to learn here. There's a lot to learn here. And in particular, I want to compare his performance at the debate with a very often quoted passage from the Bible. Not because he takes this particular piece of advice, but more because this is what it looks like when you don't take the advice. The passage in question, the passage that I wanted to share with you, comes from the book of James, James's letter to the churches, the first chapter, verses 19 and 20. The first part is the part that's often quoted, and it goes something like, everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. At no point in the debate did Donald Trump listen to James. He was not quick to listen. He didn't listen at all. He certainly wasn't slow to speak. He wouldn't stop talking. And as far as slow to anger, I think he walked into the building angry. But in the end, what we see is a person that looks out of control. He looks unhinged. It doesn't look like he has direction. It doesn't look like he has a vision. What he looks like is somebody who just wants to talk more than his opponent. Now you might say, well, that's a debate. That's what a debate's supposed to be. That is not how a debate is supposed to be. A debate between two potential world leaders should never look anything like that. It should not look like two chickens fighting over an apple core. All right? It shouldn't look like chaos. These are supposed to be two of the best men the United States has to offer. And listen, I'm picking on the U.S., and I've been picking on Donald Trump lately, probably because it's all you see in the news. But the truth is, it happens here in Canada too. It happens during our parliamentary debates. You'll see guys arguing and throwing insults and booing across the aisles. They won't let the other person speak. This is not how world leaders are supposed to act. And when they act like this, we have to make sure that we don't fall into the same traps. So whereas Donald Trump was quick to rebuke and throw an insult, and it took him a great deal of effort not to talk, you and I have to be certain that we always have our ears open, that we consider our words carefully, and that we never allow anger to bubble up in those moments where it can do the most damage. Listen, Look at that debate. Imagine yourself sitting at a picnic, enjoying a burger or some barbecue, some chicken, some cold drinks with your friends. And a person walks over and they start talking to you, and they start talking to your wife, and they, heaven forbid, they talk to your kids the same way Donald Trump spoke to Joe Biden. How long is it before you punch them in the throat? I mean, I know, guys, that it would be a matter of seconds before the first warning is given, maybe a couple of minutes before the first punch. It's not behavior any of us wants to be around. You'd never want to work for somebody who spoke to you like that. You'd never want to be in a partnership with somebody who talked like that. It's not acceptable. And so for you and I going forward, and this is where verse 20 comes in, because in verse 20 it says, basically it says our communication. We should produce in our words God's righteousness. We should produce in our words God's righteousness. So the words that come out of our mouth, we need to be very careful that they are producing righteousness, that they're building somebody up, that they're expressing love, that they're painting us in the best possible image as an ambassador for God. This can't be done when you're talking all the time. It can only be done when you're considerate. It can only be done when you're willing to listen to the views of other people, including when those views are opposed to yours. We all need to be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to anger. Because it's in those things that we produce God's righteousness. It's in those things that we are good examples for our children. It's in those things that we are good examples for our community. It's by behaving in those ways that we set ourselves apart to take on roles of visioning and of leadership in our communities. It's people who speak and communicate like this that become the ones we trust. They become the people that we are willing to sacrifice our time and our talent and our treasure for, to help them bring about their dreams and their visions for the world around us. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, and may you know the peace of always being in God's presence. And I pray that you will always be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger, remembering that these behaviors reflect your values. Amen.